What's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar and welcome to something new that I wanted to bring to the channel. Okay, this is going to be my predictions for the new Pokemon Ultra Sun, wow, the new Pokemon Sword and Shield Pokemon as they're getting revealed. I kind of want to go over what I think they're going to do, their stats, and things of that nature to potentially get a good idea of what I think they're going to do in Draft League format. Now, in order to do this, this is all purely speculation. Aside from the HP, we can kind of sort of guess where it's going to be, but I'm not even looking at that because their HP can vary so much in the trailers because of IVs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to guess on every single Pokemon stats, or every single stat of the Pokemon. I'm not going to look at just just the 5 because we already somewhat know the HP. So the first one that we wanted to do, obviously, is going to be the channel mascot or the soon to be channel mascot, Obstagoon. This is going to be this already is my favorite Pokemon in the entire world. I love this Pokemon. It's my Twitch sub badges. It's my banner, it's my icon. I love this Pokemon, so clearly I had to start out with this big boy. Now, I think Obstagoon is going to be really fun to use in League format. It is going to be in Sword and Shield. It is going to be my first pick in my first league in Sword and Shield. I don't care what anybody says. So I kind of sort of wanted to look as to what would justify me taking it as a first round pick, because Linoone isn't a first round pick in my opinion. Even though how much I love it, how essential it can be to prep for in team building, things like that. I think it's necessary to prep for a Linoone. So I really wanted to take a look at Obstagoon because I feel like this thing, if it gets the stats that I'm hoping it gets, along with the same moves, abilities. Well, we already know its abilities, and we know it gets Gluttony, right? I think it does. But if we know the moves that it can get, if it can get Belly Drum E-Speed, if you set up on something that doesn't get any fighting type coverage, you could have just as threatening of a Mon that has higher attack stats. That's insane. And then that would force people to draft Vacuum Wave or bring Vacuum Wave versus you. So I definitely think that this Pokemon could be very centralizing, depending on how its stats are distributed, and if it gets Belly Drum E-Speed, if it gets Priority and Sucker Punch, if it gets Knockoff, if it somehow gets U-turn. I think it could be very good. So let's go ahead and start off with what I think. I think its attack is going to go up to 135. Right now, Linoone's attack, I think is only base 70. Yeah, it's base 70. So with Linoone's attack being base 70, this gives it a nice little 65 buff to its attack. Now that is kind of a lot. However, I think that it's justified because Linoone is very weak, and this Pokemon looks strong. This Pokemon looks like what Wimpod to Golisopod looks like. It looks like it has that massive shift from being somewhat powerful to being very powerful. So I definitely think that the 135 attack stat is something that could possibly happen. Its defenses I made a little bit higher, not much, but because it does look like it gets bulkier, because it literally looks like it bulks up, it has some thick fur on it, it has some nice muscle mass to it. I could see both of its defenses going up. If not both, I could see its physical defense definitely going up a little bit, and its special defense going down. Well, not down, but down from what I have. Because the special defense right now with Linoone is 61, and as we've seen from most games, the Alolan forms to the regular forms, their stats don't change very much. Here, a really good example is Ninetales and Alolan Ninetales. 73, 76, 67, 75, 75, 81, 81, 100, 100, 100, 109. The stats don't change very much, meaning I'm expecting Linoone to have very similar stats to Galarian Linoone. So I could definitely see that happening. Then, if you look at its special attack right now is 50. That's not much. I want it to be usable. This thing has a phenomenal special move pool, at least regular Linoon does. And typically move pools tend to stay the same, if not get better, whenever you look at the regional variants. So, for example, Alolan Muck, it got knockoff, whereas regular Muck does not get knockoff. So I definitely think that it is able to boost its potential with move coverage, and I think that that's something that I really, really want. And if it has, I want it to have higher than 65. I would love it to have like base 85 special attacks. That way it can abuse things like Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, have nice coverage and hit things on the special side, like Ferrothorn, for example. If it would be able to hit Ferrothorn for 4 times super effective with a Flamethrower coming off of a decent special attack stat with like a Life Orb, that would be phenomenal, and I would really, really like that, because right now, Linoon doesn't have many ways to hit a Ferrothorn. It just doesn't. You would have to beat it down with the rest of your team. So if this thing has a high enough special attack stat to hurt Ferrothorn, that would be very, very, very ideal. Its Spadef, I don't think its Spadef is going to go up too much. I have it at 81. Regular Linoon is at 61. It could go up. It might not. The more that I'm looking at it, I don't think that its special defense is going to go up. I think its physical defense is going to be the defense that goes up. And I think this is going to turn out to be like a, almost like a, I'm trying to think of a really good example. Mamoswine a good example? Mamoswine isn't that good of an example. I can kind of sort of see this thing very physically and top heavy in its stats. So like its HP, its attack, its defense being very, 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 very good. And then its special attack, special defense, and speed being either mediocre to all right. So that's kind of how I could see it. This is what I want. With a little bit better special attack, potentially, but I had to be realistic somewhere. If its special defense is not 81, I feel like it's going to go down from 61. I feel like it's going to go down to like 50. It's going to be very, 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 very frail on the special side, which will hurt Obstagoon a lot. However, if that's the case, I'm hoping that its speed does go up a little bit. From what I have it is at base 100 right now with Linoon. So there's 2 options. I could be reading this Pokemon completely wrong, and it might not get slower, which is possible. I think it's going to get slower for a couple reasons. If it were to stay the same speed, I would be happy. If it were to go up in speed and have this monstrous attack set with Reckless Double Edge, with Reckless, if it's able to get like Jump Kick or High Jump Kick or anything like that, this Pokemon is going to be one of the best wall breakers in the game. And that will be amazing. We don't really have a normal type spam wall breaker. Well, we haven't gotten a really good one since Staraptor. And even then, Staraptor spams Brave Bird most of the time. So I would love to see this thing become the ideal wall breaker with Reckless. So I think its Spadef could go down. I think its speed could go either way. Linoon is a fast Pokemon. It's all of its dex entries even say that it's fast. This Pokemon, I don't think it's going to be as fast personally. So I think the speed is going to go down, making it really reliant on Sucker Punch. Hopefully it gets it. And Extreme Speed. Hopefully it gets it. So let's say that we take this Pokemon right here at face value of what I have it set as. How will it be in Draft League format? I think it'll be like tier 3. I think it'll be like tier 3, potentially tier 4. And I say that because of the fighting weakness. I don't think it'll be very, very hard to counter it. I think it'll be essential, and I think it'll force a lot of coverage on Calm Mind Psychic types, which is really, really useful. So things like Reuniclus are forced to run Signal Beam along with Calm Mind and Recover, meaning that you can kind of sort of play around that kind of easier. Like if you have like a really good if you have a really good fairy type, you might be able to play around it a little bit easier. So I definitely think that that's one really good thing about this. If it has this massive attack stat, if it has this massive speed stat, if the speed stat goes up, it'll be massive. I mean, and I think it'll be a really good wall breaker to put in conjunction with certain things that pressure rock types. So like a Darmanitan, for example. If you're able to pair this thing with like a Darmanitan that pivots, it brings in either bulky waters, it brings in bulky rocks. and you pressure them and you wear them down a little bit, this thing can sweep through the majority of other people's teams just because it could have extreme speed priority, it could have double edge with reckless, it could have sucker punch, it could have a lot of different things. My hope for this is that it gets knockoff, and my hope for this is that it gets pursuit. If it got pursuit, that would make me extremely happy, because it would be able to break through most psychic types, like Mesprit, for example. It would be able to pursuit trap a Mesprit and do a lot of damage to it and put it immediately on track with just sweeping for another Pokemon. And I think that this Pokemon, while it might not be like the premier sweeper that comes out in Gen 8, I definitely think it could be a really good wall breaker, and I think it could be a really cool Mon to prep with and use to break down opponents' teams. So I'm going to draft it first round overall just because I love this Pokemon so much. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like down below for me. Also, make sure you let me know what you guys think of Obstagoon. Unless you hate it, then don't tell me, because I'll ban you. No, in all seriousness, no, thank you guys very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like down below for me. Leave a comment letting me know what you think of Obstagoon and what you think its stats are going to be. And with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.